Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Next Level Real Talk Podcast, where we have conversations on the journey of personal transformation and the pursuit of lasting peace and happiness with Sheldon and David. And welcome back to Next Level Real Talk Podcast with Sheldon and David and the final episode of the year.
Yep, this is.
25. How you doing, David?
I know we're dating everything, but
Yep.
doing well, doing great. It's been a great season. Yeah, so it's the end of 2025, and so it's been a year, and we're glad that you have been listening in and paying attention and liking and sharing and commenting. We really enjoy that. But we're going to talk about some things today about resolutions and goals and life at the end of the year because that's what everybody talks about. This is the
Yeah,
time.
it is the
Um,
last one.
yeah, so we just want to just kind of go into that, just kind of just talk about things and kind of help you get through the season still because it's still that you know Christmas is over, but still the season's there and
Yeah,
family stuff is there. So
still a
and you
lot of
got
stuff that's going on.
personal stuff coming forward for the next year. So we'll
Yep.
talk about that as we go forward.
Yep.
So
And we were before we were recording, we were talking about when you're wanting to look forward, sometimes the best thing to do is take a little bit of time and look backwards a little bit, not getting
hmm
too caught up in the details, but also um, thinking about looking at things with a grateful heart,
hmm
and how do you do that? Because obviously, um, sometimes things can be tough, right? I'm sure there are
yeah,
a lot of people out there that are listening that have had very challenging years, and so we're not trying to minimize that at all, but
hmm
um, and we've talked about this before in the podcast that oftentimes it's not until you got a little bit away from that challenge that you can look
hmm
back on
yep,
something and say, "Wow, there's a silver lining there. This is what happened, and I'm
hmm
better for having been through those challenges." So that can be tough when you're in it. So,
yeah. I
you know,
can I can tell someone, hey, it's going to be better. Just hang in there. It's going to be better because I've been through something.
mhm.
But they're not there. They're going like, "Whatever, shut up. I'm in
Yep,
this middle." So you can't force them to know
yep,
that it's going to be better. It's just kind of
yeah,
like, "Hey, I'm ensuring you, I'm with you in this journey. It's going to hurt. It's going to be hard, but you'll look back one day and go like, wow, that hurt, but man, I learned a lot and grew a lot."
I
So,
saw a show one time, and maybe this can just help take things back to the basics, because I think we live in America, mostly, listening first world countries,
mhm, yep,
and I saw a TV show one time, and there was a dude, and I can't remember where he was taken from, but it was some war torn country or third world country, and he was put into an apartment, and he's standing at the kitchen, and he opens the faucet, and running water comes out, and the dude was blown away, just
yeah,
mind boggled with. You could see how much gratitude, because I think some countries, they make a journey every day. when,
hmm
when Jacqueline and I were in Bali, um, water's considered sacred, and they have water temples everywhere and stuff like that.
hmm
And because the rice paddies, are flooded with water, right? In the rain, it's a tropical country, right? And we lived in the middle of a rice paddy, our little place, but it was close to a small water temple, quote unquote. And it's basically like a spring coming straight out of the side of the mountain, kind of thing. You had to go down like a couple hundred steps. It was really long steps down into this thing. And that's where these people came and bathed every day. That was their fresh water supply.
oh
And you'd
wow,
see these little ladies on the little moped with the 50-gallon water container,
yep. I was gonna
empty.
say you see it in the in the movies or just
Yep.
shows or whatever. There's people that have it on their back. They're
Yeah.
walking because they
So
went to get
they'd
water.
they'd have it on
Yep.
the moped, and they would take it
Yeah.
down to the temple. And these
hmm
tiny little skinny ladies, little old lady, and they'd pick it up on their head or their shoulder, and they'd carry it up these couple hundred steps, and they'd put it on their moped, and they'd drive away, and we're like, "That's their water supply for the day."
hmm
That's
Yeah.
what they're cooking with, that's their drinking water, oh my god.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's hard for us because we're so used to it, but having a roof over your head, having enough
Yeah.
food to eat, having clean water to drink, having a place to shower, you know, having a place to sleep that's secure, those things aren't. There's a large part of the world that is not the case every
hmm
day.
And many in our own country
Yeah,
that don't have that.
100%.
It's
Um, 100%.
that's so it's being it's because you talked about looking forward. It's you need to look back to be able to move forward to see
Yeah.
where you were to make any positive changes or just any change. You got to like, okay, what happened last year? How can we make adjustments? Businesses do that.
Yep.
They're like, okay, what went well? What didn't go well? Okay, our
Yep.
profits are down. I'm gonna use Nike or Nike. However you use the word. I know their profits are down in China. Like, okay, they're readjusting
Yep.
what they're making.
Yep.
And
Their game
selling,
plan.
not making in China, but yeah, their game plan, what they're going to sell in China, because the stuff that they thought would sell is not selling.
Hmm.
So you got to look back in order to move forward, and that's
Yeah.
where we are today. I want to talk about looking back at things and see how things were, and help you move forward with your goals and
And
resolutions in life.
yeah, and taking an attitude of gratitude, right? And starting with
Hmm.
that's why we're starting with that. So as you look back, what were the things that you can look for, at
Hmm.
with a grateful heart? Because I do believe in your energy, and I've always talked about that, right? That we are beings, we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? We are divine beings. We have uh, a core within us that is our soul or our spirit. And that is an energetic vibrational light. And when you connect to that light of gratitude, that helps you to connect to that place, and that's kind of like
Hmm.
connecting into the deepest part of your soul. And then when you look forward from that place, and you don't have to do a 2-hour meditation or get all deep into it, but I do think that the simplicity of looking at things, taking this moment to pause. We always talk about stop, drop, and
Hmm.
breathe, right? We've talked about
Yep.
that as one of the fundamental things, and taking that moment to stop, become present in your moment right now. Opening your
Hmm.
heart, looking at something with gratitude, and then saying, "Okay, which direction do I want to go now?" From
Hmm.
this place, I'm grateful for everything that I have. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for my job, but maybe I want to shift a new career path. I'm really grateful for this job that I have. It's gotten me where I am right now. It's paid all my bills. It's served its function. And maybe it's time for me to move in a different direction, and I'm burned out in this role or whatever,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
So, but it's just because you want to change things doesn't mean you have to hate what you're at. And I think
Exactly.
sometimes we do that,
Yep.
right? We get,
Hmm.
oh, this sucks. I want to move. It's like, hey, can we look at that thing where we're at with love, with gratitude, with absolute deep
Hmm.
sense of gratitude for what we already have, and then we use that energy to align with what we want, to move forward to too. And I think that
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah,
Uh,
and and as you talked about leaving something, don't have to be angry or upset with the place you're at. When I retired, I loved the North. I was having fun
yep,
teaching, but it was the right timing for everything that
yep,
fell into place, and uh, all the conversations I had with people about retiring, and then um, Ashley was pregnant, wound up having an ARIA.
hmm,
Okay, I retired in May, went to North Dakota for a couple months, and came back, and gave me an opportunity to help him, David Hill, in North Dakota
yep,
because he was really sick and couldn't do things. And so I look back like, wow, what did I did there? That
yep,
was fun.
yeah,
Then Ashley having Aria in November, and then mom being sick, being able to take care of her and passing in December. So I was able to do all those things.
yep,
I didn't leave and retire because I'm like, oh, I'm sick of this job. I hate this job. It was just like the timing felt right. And I
yep,
went within myself and said, is this my time to get out?
yep,
And it just felt right
yep.
and comfortable. And then
That
financially
was
was okay.
something, and that was something that you did sit with and pray on a lot, right?
Yep, a
You
lot
sat with that a
because it's
lot.
like, wait,
It was
I'm
a big deal.
retiring.
It's a big
I'm
decision.
55. I can't retire at 55. What do you mean I can't retire?
Yeah,
And it's a tough decision. It's a scary decision. You can't.
yeah,
You don't just. Oh, I'm quitting. I'm out.
yeah,
No, I had to sit down and go through that process.
yep,
And then, yes, I eventually went back, but it was for a different position
mhm,
and a different
mhm,
total mindset of where I
yep,
am. So yeah, so exactly what Sheldon was saying is like it doesn't mean you have to be. I'm tired of this job. I quit. It may be a chance for you to say, you know what, it's a chance to make a change,
yep,
maybe for a better thing for the family.
yep,
Um, uh, One of my, I won't mention names, but the person I know is going to leave a job that makes pretty good money um, to do another job so that he and his wife can be, because it's a night job, and so
mhm,
he does. It's hard. It's very hard,
mhm,
and so it's he'll take less pay, but it's going to have better benefits.
mhm.
It's going to have consistent work hours, and they'll be able to be together more. And
So
so
it's
it's
like
like,
quality of life decision.
yeah.
It's just like,
And
hey,
she didn't have a job. Now she has a job, so their combined jobs will be what he was making. So it's like,
yep,
so really they're not making a
yeah,
major change. It's just little
yep,
things. So
yep,
so yeah, so those things can be that. And yes, we aren't saying there's not major changes that have to happen, but
Yep.
sometimes you get into a job and you hate it and you have to leave. You
Yep.
know, it's just not working. But understand you can make changes when things are okay. It's really,
Yep.
they always say the best time to, we're not just talking about jobs, but life. They always say the best time to find a new job is when you have a job.
Yep.
So if you quit a job and try to find one, it's always seems harder.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so it's okay if you're happy. It's okay to be
Yeah.
happy to move to happy.
Absolutely.
So,
And that's actually the best energy to be moving forward in anything from. And that's why I was saying, looking back at trying to get into that energy of gratitude,
mhm,
having that, and for me, just popped in my head was just talking about having you on this show with, David. I
mhm,
honestly think there was a period in the middle of this last year where I might have just had I been by myself, I probably wouldn't have been doing it right now. I probably would have been
mhm.
like, I'm done. Because there was a period in the year where I was just tired, it felt like, and it was just like, oh God, I gotta do the show. Well, Dave's there. If you weren't there, I'd have probably just been like, screw it, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do it this week. Screw it,
yeah.
I'm not gonna do this week. And there was probably a couple weeks where, and I even told Jacqueline, I said, you know what, if I were by myself, I probably would have ended it right now. And
Mm,
so I'm grateful
yeah,
that, we get to do this together
yeah,
because it's kind of cool that it's still going, right? We're like,
yeah.
we were looking
We
back,
were
it's
talking
like
about that beforehand. Yeah, it's kind of,
almost
and we're
two
like,
full years. I think we started in April 24. So, of doing this, and hopefully people are getting something out of it, right?
mhm,
So, uh, you know, and we still have a lineup of people that we are going to bring on and all that kind of
yep,
stuff and share more stories and hear more people's stories. And so, I'm grateful for this, avenue for us to share.
mhm,
And to bring other people's voices in to share with us, right? Because again, that's the whole point. It wasn't to be us to be sitting here talking heads. Just it's to bring in other voices and other people's
yeah. And
views
we do
of.
have some lined up. We
Yep.
were hoping to do it sooner than later, but it is the holiday season, so
Yep.
got to give them their space and let them do theirs, and then we'll get them on. But yeah, as we look back, the biggest thing is having that gratitude of,
Mhm.
and I've been going through some stuff. Without mentioning major details, is some stuff with the daughter and the grandkids, and about some things, and I got stuck in a little world of negativity and
Yep.
upsetness.
Yep.
But then I realized, I thought, wow, I look back literally as we're talking about this, I realized like, oh, wait a minute. Because 2 days ago, I was talking to someone that said, yeah, but when you go through this, think of what you got. You get Christmas Eve with them alone. You get to go to church with them on Christmas Eve. Every Sunday, you're with the kids, and Ari is helping you do stuff after church, like little things on the church chairs for the next service. And I go, wow, I do get those moments. Those are proud moments that she will always remember. And so I'm
Mhm.
like, oh. So I may think negative sometimes that this isn't happening, but I'm missing that's happening.
Yeah.
So I have to stop and go, wait,
Yeah.
there is someone had to tell me
Yeah.
because I love what I do with all the stuff I got. So don't get me wrong, there's no issues with that. Um, so that's why I don't want to bring down the negative anything. It's positive that I do have the positive stuff with the
Well,
grandkids.
and
You know.
that's the thing that the mind can be very greedy.
Hmm.
So the mind is just like, hey, I love that, but I want more.
Hmm.
Right? And that's why they always talk about that, the CEOs and these billionaires, they want more,
Hmm.
right? Because when they're in their mind, the mind of achievement, right, is always going to be unsatisfied.
Mm.
Right? And you just now
Uh,
said it. You said, but in my heart, I think you threw out the word heart in there. It's like, my heart, I can be, it's like when you go into your heart, you realize that's where you find gratitude, right? Is in your heart. Your mind is going to find dissatisfaction, like
mhm.
comparison. We had a show called Comparison, the Thief of Joy, right? We're
Yeah.
comparing, well, so and so
Mm.
gets more of this, and why do I do, da, 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 right? And your mind is comparing. And
Yep.
again, it's not a bad thing that your mind does that because it's for survival. Is this safe? Is this a threat? Your
Hmm.
mind is designed to compare. But when you're only in your mind and it's always comparing, it will always rob you of joy. And how do you drop into the heart,
Yeah.
right? Which is why we did the stop, drop, and breathe. Stop what you're thinking, drop into your
Hmm.
heart, take a deep breath, and relax. And then in that place of gratitude for, wow, you're right. I do have, you know, I do
This
get
is
a
it.
lot of time, and that time
Yeah.
is really precious. And I really
Hmm.
do love that time. And from that energy, that will develop more time. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And
Exactly.
trusting in that. trusting in that it's hard, right? Because
Hmm.
we all want
Yeah,
stuff, and
exactly.
that is a natural
Yeah.
thing. Like I said, it's not like this is evil. Your mind isn't, but it's just
Hmm.
like, hey, but also understanding that that's how it works, right?
Yes.
So that
Hmm.
you're not in total conflict with the thing all the time, right? How your brain works and people,
Hmm.
So anyway, that's funny, right? But that's
Yes. Yeah, that was totally as I didn't realize that it happened last week as you talk about it now, is that I went back and realized, looking back, I do have gratitude.
mhm,
I need to have that gratitude. Yeah, there's something I still need to work on,
mhm.
with everything else. But as I go through it, realize the gratitude, but then work on what I need to work on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
what we need to work on,
yeah, yep.
family. So,
You know,
yeah.
uh, Opportunities for things to be different or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Um, it's like
And
go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
So, this, couple like a month ago or 2 months ago, I started a new position at my work, right? And I
Hmm.
went through the whole thing that kind of like you did. I actually left work, and was doing the life coaching for a couple of years, and then came back to, this sort of normal corporate job, and did a position for 6 years, right? And looking back on that with nothing but love and gratitude for all of the people that I was with, and my boss who sometimes challenged me in ways, but when you look back at that, you go, wow, she had my best intentions in mind, and I grew
Hmm.
from those things, and uh, and now I'm doing something different that I'm super excited about, and it's new, and you know what I mean. So,
Yeah.
how do you look back at those, the things that Because again, sometimes she challenged me in ways that at the moment weren't fun.
Yeah. But they
Yeah,
were trying to help you grow, and
yeah,
you didn't realize that,
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. And
you know,
as we do this looking back, and coming into the new year, as we talked about, so we hope you all had a good, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate during this holiday season. Hope it was great. Hope it
Celebrate
was,
them all.
yeah. I put up on my board at the library, because we do stuff for the week, whatever's up on the board. So I used to put up in class. It says Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmaka. And the kids are like, what? And I go Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmaka. Some kid literally asked me this, and so I don't get offended, people. Just live it, okay? It's funny. Some kid goes, "Well, what if you're atheist and you don't believe in any of those?" I go, "Then don't look at it." You don't have to. That's what I'm just saying. I go, that's for those that believe it. I go, if you don't, then don't. And, but yeah, we hope you had a good holiday, a good season, with everybody, and it was positive. And if there were issues, you work through them. But as we move forward, we want to talk about a little bit. I think we were
Mhm,
talking about
mhm.
resolutions, and we came up, is it resolutions or goals,
Yeah.
which are kind of the same.
Mhm.
In my world, resolutions are like the big overseeing. It's like, oh, it's like the ominous of the resolution. I
Yeah.
gotta make this resolution thing, but I can make a goal.
Yep.
So if it's a mindset thing, like me, I've already got some things that I know I need to change and work on. They're not like, okay, I need to change my life, I need to do this, and it's just some practical things about texts and emails and conversations, what I need to do, and it's going to make my life easier.
Mhm,
And so it's a goal. My goal
mhm.
is this and this, instead of my resolution is. It's like,
Yep.
sounds like you're at a podium. My resolution is. If you
Yeah.
do a goal, it's like, okay, my goal is to do this. I can reach a goal.
Yep.
I'm not sure about I can reach a resolution. So,
Yeah, and last year we kinda had a similar we were looking back, before the show,
mhm,
and I think the show was about, you know, small steps. The
mhm,
idea of small steps, this is what, you were talking about this time, right? It's just kind of a similar thing, right? It's just like, "Hey, set the goal, right? And
mhm.
and take baby steps," right? You were talking about that, Dave.
Yeah.
One step at a time is that idea of just one foot in front of the other. Doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be, but just
Yeah.
one step in front of the other.
And we talked about, because everybody talks about weight every time this time of year, so we're just going to use the weight as a thing. And so, say if someone wants to lose 75 pounds, oh, my goal is to lose 75 pounds. It's like, that's great. That's a big goal, though. That's big, but
Mhm.
that's their goal, that's the overall goal. Well, don't look at that. Look at that, but go back and go, okay, let's lose a pound a week. That's
Mhm.
all I got to do.
Mhm.
So in that month, you lost 4 pounds.
Yep.
Yes, but you go, oh, but 75 pounds is a long time to lose. It's take a long time. You're focusing on that too big. Got to go
Yep.
back. And they say you always think globally, act locally.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't change the world, but you can change your little world.
Yep.
So globally is that 75 pounds. So go back to okay, the moment. What can I do right now? And if you start feeling okay, yeah, I'm losing a pound a week, and then maybe the 2 months down the road, you start losing 2 pounds a month. I
Yeah.
mean, a week. It's like okay,
Yeah. It's
two
happened.
pounds this week,
Yep.
1 pound next week. Just
Yep.
you're slowly you're getting there faster because you're getting used to it and things like
And
that. So
momentum, things build on each
yes,
other.
momentum. So look at your goals and just see where you are and say make sure they're realistic.
Yep.
Okay, um, and I can't tell you all my. They got to be realistic, attainable. Okay, like I wanna make $1 million this year. Is that realistic? Am I going to make $1 million? No.
Yep.
Okay, so make it attainable, realistic, measurable.
Yep.
Can I measure it?
Yep.
Okay, a pound a week.
Yep.
Yes, I can measure that. Okay, is a pound a week reasonable? Yep. And is it attainable? Yes, I
Yep.
can do all those. Okay, so if you're doing a goal, make it to where it's those.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
you're talking about think globally, act locally. It's kind of funny because it's popping in my head, and I think I mentioned it before in the podcast that something that came up for me in one of my dreams. It started in meditation, and it was like a couple of nights in my dreams was this whole idea of feeding homeless people, or
hmm
feeding people that needed food, and
yeah,
uh, it won't go away. So, and I have a friend in Kentucky who wants to do it with me. So, I don't know, but I actually sent an email to uh, this my tax guys has a department that will help me file the 501c3 nonprofit status paperwork. So I actually sent an email yesterday
Mm,
to say, hey, I want to go ahead and go forward with this. How do we set up the 501c? And I've done it before. I've helped to do it before when I was with the AUM, Colleen, who we interviewed, um, the nonprofit there. So I've helped do that before. I kind of know how it goes, but I just knew that if I had to do it on my own, I'd probably never do it.
mhm,
So if I can just pay somebody to help me do that, the paperwork, I'll do that. But it's kind of like um, part of that whole thing, in my head is I will want to act globally. You know how I say, oh, how many views do we
mhm.
get, right? I want to,
Yep.
my mind. So, I'm just like, hey, just do the paperwork. Hey, get the thing set up. Hey, you know, maybe you can just do this one thing. And it's this idea of just tiny baby steps for myself. Like, hey, you don't
Mhm,
need to open a soup kitchen. You can just cook more food than you can eat and give the rest away.
mhm.
That's what's been in my mind, you know? If you
Yep.
have enough that you can take care of yourself, why don't you give the rest away rather than storing it?
Mhm.
And can you
Yep.
start intentionally cooking more than you can eat
So
and
instead of cooking
intentionally
one
doing that?
pan of what you're cooking, like you
Yeah,
talked earlier, making some
yeah,
lasagna, which I'd
yeah,
love to be able to taste. Instead of making one pan, making two.
yeah.
And so, hey,
Get it?
we're not going to eat two. I know we're not. That's going
Yeah,
to be given away.
yeah.
So you purposely, yeah. So your mindset is there that I'm going to do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And so,
Awesome.
and it's a baby step,
Hmm.
you know?
Yep.
And
Totally.
can I get to a place where I can do that every weekend? I don't know. Can I get to
Yeah.
a place where I'm doing it every day? Can we get to a place where, hey, maybe, we do have something regular that's going on where,
Hmm.
you know, that's part of the intention. The intention, what is the intention, with something like that?
Yeah. Now,
There's a lot of people could use
If
some
Sheldon looks
support.
at like if Sheldon looks at it and goes like, "Hey, I want to have this place to where people come in. I give them food. I cook the extras. People give me extras. Blah blah blah." This big grandioso plan, which is a great plan, and that's all he looks at. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, it's too
So
overwhelming, right?
it's too overwhelming. It's like, how do I do this? This is we'll start out here, and as you slowly do a little bit, you gain more knowledge and
Yep,
gain more support.
yep,
And that's a big thing is have a wolf pack that can help you. I
yep,
mean, like he may say, like if you're like Sheldon's doing the kitchen thing, he's like maybe has people that check in and say, hey, what can I give you? Or say, hey, like I'm gonna use weight. Weight's a lot easier. If someone's losing weight, say, hey, could you check in on me every week, see how I did?
yep,
Be accountable, held
yep,
accountable by somebody,
yep,
and not in a negative way. Just say,
yep.
hey, I just need someone to help.
They have
And
that, right?
so,
Accountability partners.
yep.
And
So right
your
there,
12
just
steps is your sponsor, right?
yep.
Somebody to just
So
say, hey,
little
I
things
need
in
support. I need,
positive ways.
Mhm.
So, and someone just asking Sheldon, say, "Hey, I know you got this plan, and where you at?"
Yep.
It's like, "Oh shoot, yeah, I forgot about that." But if he has someone knowing someone's going to ask him regularly what's going on, it's like, okay, I need to get this done. Not in fear, but it's like it helps motivate. It's a positive motivating, so not a fear motivating.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah,
um,
that's an awesome,
so it's kind
way
of
to do
funny that you're talking about think globally, act locally, because that's
it.
exactly what it is. It's like, oh, there's a lot of people that need food out there. Oh, that's too much. What can I make 3 extra dinners? You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
it's just like it doesn't have to be the whole world. Doesn't have to be the
Yeah.
whole city. Doesn't
Hmm.
have to be anything. Just has would that
So
one person that you gave one extra meal to appreciate it? Hopefully, you
yeah,
know what I mean?
it's like these companies, like our church gives to I can't think of the name right now. Like they give food,
Like a
like,
food
when
bank
there's
or something like that.
tragedies, food banks and stuff like that. They didn't start as, okay, we're this globally known company that gives out,
Yep.
rah, rah, rah. It's like, no, they're probably in the garage of someone's house said, we as a family want to give this.
Yep.
We want to do this for people.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, this is getting, we don't have enough room in here.
Yep.
It built, it built, it built, it
Yep.
built. Now it's an international thing,
Yep.
so don't try to start as an international thing,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
some people can have that happen because they have these resources, but 99% of the time it's not going to happen.
Yep.
And so, like for me, I'm gonna tell you my goals for the year is lately, and I don't know why. It just lately I'll get texts and I'll be like, okay, I'll text back later because I think I'm too busy. I get into this realm of I'm too. I'll text later, and then that night it's like, oh, it's too late to text. I'll text them when I get to school tomorrow. Well, then I get to school, I'm too busy. I forget about things. Okay, my brain is just not thinking about I need to do this, and so several friends I have not text back, and they've called me out on it. And I said, I'm like, you know what? I need to do this. So my goal is to make sure that when someone texts me, if they need a response, then I'm going to get that response immediately. Either if I'm in a meeting, say, hey, I'll text you after the meeting, but then do it immediately after the meeting because I'll forget about it later on.
Yep.
And if I need to, put a note somewhere. Okay. I got notes on my phone. I got so many notes on my phone that okay, boom. And it's right there on top. I go, okay, what do I need? What did I say? I need to do this, this, and this, and this.
Yep.
Okay. Because otherwise I'll forget. So that's one of my big goals. And I told Sheldon up front, I'm not good at posting about our podcast. I've been bad. It's like I'll do it
I'm
like, oh, I
terrible.
forgot
I'm
to do
worse
that.
than you,
I'll do
bud.
that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it on every Monday. I'm going to put it on my phone every Monday or Tuesday. Post it. Post the previous, because we do this on the weekends and then we post it on Sunday, and then I repost it when I can throughout the week. But here it is. I didn't post about last week, and here it is. We're on our next podcast. So
Yep.
I want to say angry with myself because I'm like, dang it, I should do that. I go, but I get going and I just forget because I'm at that stage where my brain just doesn't remember every little detail.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start making little notes, and it's okay to do that because that's my goal, and that's how I'm going to reach my goal. I mean, is it time bound? Yeah, every week I want to do this, and time bound for text. Yep, every time I get a text, make sure you respond. Is it attainable? Yeah, it should be. Is it measurable? Yep, if I do it, So is it there?
Yep.
And is it realistic? Yeah, it can all happen. So, so so if that's all there, that's my goal. So now that's out there. Uh-oh.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so
Yep.
just so I called myself out, but so and those are little things.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Those are my little things in life. I may have some more bigger goals as I start thinking about things, but understand that it's a goal. It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to go out and change the world. I want to
Yep.
change this,
Yep.
and it's like, no, it doesn't have to be that. It can be. And if you can do it, more power to you. I support
Yep.
you. I hope you can, but don't think that. That's why I use the word goal instead of resolution, because resolution we think, that's change the world, change my life, change everything. We want you to change your life, but by small baby steps and setting goals and
Yep.
doing things.
Yep.
And next week we're going to talk about. We're going to do a little review
Yep.
of the year and kind of go back and talk about some things, and hopefully that'll help you remember
Yep.
some things. But a lot of things we talked about, hopefully you already have note wise, or you can go back and look at the previous podcast. And the biggest thing we talk about is just stopping. Stop, drop, and breathe. And that's in everything we talk about. That becomes the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So, and if you do that pursuit of peace and happiness, along that journey of transformation, is going to be easier
Yep.
because it gives you a chance to stop and think about what you're doing and and being more calm. That's the
Bringing
biggest.
consciousness and awareness, bringing that into the moment, right? It's becoming
Yeah.
more present with everything that you're doing.
Because
Um, uh,
we get going too busy and
yeah,
we're not in the moment really.
yep,
Even though we're there, we're doing stuff, but our brain is going so fast, it's not thinking, we're not
yep,
present.
yep. And then
So
it sort of, while you were talking, it popped in my head that whole thing where in the world where you can be anything you want, be kind. Have you seen those T-shirts?
yeah. Hmm.
You know, be
Yep.
kind. In a world where you can be anything you want, be kind. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. So yeah, we're looking back. Looking back with a grateful heart. Um,
Hmm.
Figuring out what we want to as we you know go forward and looking back in the year with a grateful heart, so that we can go forward with baby steps, setting goals and taking baby steps, and being
Yep.
kind to yourself
Be
first.
kind.
Be
Hmm.
kind to yourself as you look at goals and where you've been. Be Look at yourself with a loving, compassionate heart, um, and then share that compassion and love and kindness with the rest of the world. We could all
Yep.
use a little bit more of that, I think.
So Sheldon just gave you the homework, just so you know. That's almost exactly what I wrote. So I write notes during this, people, and
Yeah,
he just, he doesn't have notes. So I will tell you, he doesn't see my notes at
yeah,
all. But
that's hilarious.
my notes, I'm going to tell you my notes. Looking back helps us look forward. So make sure you look back to move forward. Uh, Always look back with an attitude of gratitude. So, because look back and say, okay, I'm grateful for this. And yes, hard times are there, but be grateful for those hard times because you learn through those hard times
Yep,
if you use those times correctly.
yep,
And, but some things we understand, and we've said this before, some things are so hard that people go through that, like abuse and
yep,
rape and all that. We cannot fathom that. So understand that we're not saying that move on from that, be gratitude with it. We understand that that may not happen in
yep,
certain things, but you can grow. Um, Set goals, make sure they're attainable, measurable, okay, reachable,
yep.
um, and then just be kind. So those are all the things I wrote, exactly what you said. So,
That's hilarious, dude.
yeah. So this week, go out that, have that gratitude. Like, this is going to be a great new year coming.
Yep,
I know it's going to come up this week. Uh, be positive about that. See, you may be struggling with some things. Say like, okay, we're going to get through this because
hmm,
you will. Okay, you will get through it. Make sure you have a wolf pack to help you get through that. If things are going wonderful, look back on that gratitude. Look back on that, the last year, and be happy about what happened. Be
yep.
grateful, and then be
Taking a
looking to see
moment
what.
to really appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, and then set those new goals for like, hey, how can we make this new year? What do I have? We always
Yep,
have to set goals somewhere.
yep,
So,
yep.
but that's it. The biggest thing is be kind.
Yeah.
Be
Thank you,
kind.
David. I'm grateful for
So,
you on this journey, and
so
everybody listening. So again,
yeah,
thanks to everybody who is listening and participating. And please be sure to like and subscribe and share it with somebody. And we love
exactly.
you. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Keep a smile on. Have a great day.